In this tutorial, we'll study strategic quality management. Under this topic, we shall cater to various factors of quality management, such as the mission, vision, and values of strategic quality management. So, before we give the definitions of strategic quality management, let us now understand the concept and relation of strategy and quality management. What is strategy? Strategy is a plan of action to achieve organizational goals, usually related to performance in the marketplace. What is strategic management? Strategic management is the development, deployment, and execution of strategic plans. It involves the development of organizational mission, vision, values, and goals, the development of policy and plans, the execution and evaluation. In order to be effectively implemented, quality management needs to be treated as a strategic priority alongside marketing, finance, and operations. This implies an effort to manage quality at a strategic level. Let us now discuss the principal factors involved in the development of the plans for strategic quality management. Number 1 is vision. Vision is essentially a tone-setting idea which is designed to align, inspire the stakeholders in an organization. It should be concise, easily understood, and stirring. Vision statements vary in length and content. Number 2 is mission. Mission statements add detail to the vision statement. It captures who the organization is and what it will do to achieve its vision. Number 3. Values. Values are beliefs which the organization promotes. They are an indication of the way in which mission will be delivered. The next topic is management by objective. Peter Drucker defined the concept of management by objectives in order to ensure that individual objectives of the entire management group within an organization could be purposefully organized within a structure towards a common policy. In order to gain compatibility within the management group, each manager within the organization requires clearly spelled out objectives to avoid confusion. So, what are the objectives of MBO? The various objectives of MBO are: Number 1. Identify the performance each management group is tasked to achieve. Number 2. Contribution to a manager and his or her unit are required to help other units achieve their objectives. Number 3. Assistance a manager can expect from other units in pursuit of his or her objectives. To ensure that the objectives are balanced, they should be set over both short and long-term timescales and contain both tangible and intangible elements. Since the objectives are often set and approved by top management and cascaded vertically down the organization, leading to specific problems such as one-way communication. In traditional MBO planning processes, the communication process is one-way downwards from the manager to the subordinate with little input from the team. This generates plans, goals, and targets which can be unrealistic in execution. Management after the fact. MBO has a particular focus on results without identification of causes as to why results have not been achieved, which means that performance gaps are rarely realized early enough to take remedial action. Individual skills. There is a particular learning towards skills of individual employees with little effort to improve processes or identify cause and effect relationships between plan and results. Failure to eliminate problems. Problems tend to be identified at local levels, which tend to be an effect of problems with processes involving many different departments. Failure to capture knowledge. The performance appraisal within the MBO approach tends to be carried out annually, without any knowledge or learning feedback into the organization to improve future planning processes. Used as a weapon. MBO is often used as a weapon to threaten employees by measuring individual performance against top-down objectives rather than understanding process capability. Lacks horizontal integration. The MBO approach attempts to achieve vertical integration between layers of management but does not effectively integrate process activity across the organization to strategic goals. Strategic planning and execution. The vision, mission, and values of the organization need to be enacted through an effective planning and execution cycle. This is the only way in which the slightly intangible concepts and promises can be made manifest. Following are the problems that frequently occur with planning. Unrealistic goals or predictions that are set arbitrarily. Failure to focus on a few critical goals. Selecting the wrong goals. No shared vision of the organization. Planned activities are not reviewed or punitively reviewed. Teams have not learned to plan, use inappropriate planning methods, or regard planning as an event. Inadequate factual data. Over-analysis of past data. The primary role of strategic planning is to set the right objectives for the businesses, determine the best means of achieving the objective, and to facilitate the effective implementation and review of the means as the plan is executed. This requires that planners should work in the context of higher order purposes of the organization, which are usually very specific to its own situation, including the needs and desires of the owners and stakeholders. Hoshin Kanri. The Japanese translation of Hoshin Kanri is as follows. Ho means method, Shin means shiny metal showing direction, and Kanri means planning. A useful interpretation of the literal translation is that Hoshin Kanri is a methodology for setting strategic direction, which is also known as Hoshin planning, policy management, and policy deployment. Formally, we defined Hoshin Kanri as a method for ensuring that the strategic goals of a company drive progress and action at every level within that company. This eliminates the waste that comes from inconsistent direction and poor communication. It is a step-by-step planning, implementation, and review process for managed change. It is a system approach to the management of change in critical business processes. The major elements of the model can be summarized as: Number 1. 5-year vision. It is an improvement plan based on internal and external obstacles and revision based on input from all managers on the draft plan. Number 2. 1-year plan. It involves the selection of activities based on feasibility and likelihood of achieving desired results. Number 3. Deployment to departments. It focuses on the identification of key implementation items and consideration of how they can systematically accomplish the plan. Number 4. Detailed implementation. This is the implementation of the deployment plans. Number 5. Monthly diagnosis. This is the analysis of things that helped or hindered progress and the activities to benefit from this learning. Number 6. President's annual diagnosis. This is the review of progress to develop activities which will continue to help each manager function at their full potential. Formally, we define cross-functional management as follows. Cross-functional management manages business processes across the traditional boundaries of the functional areas. CFM relates to coordinating and synergizing the activities of different units for realizing the subordinate cross-functional goals and policy deployment. It is concerned with building a better system for achieving such cross-functional goals as innovation, quality, cost, and delivery. Need for cross-functional management. Need for top management to clarify its quality, cost, and delivery goals and deploy them to all employees at every level, and need to establish a system of close coordination among different departments. Cross-functional management is necessary for successful implementation of Hoshin Kanri along with a concept known as catchball. CFM requires a significant change in the structure management relationships in order to allow continual checking of goals and means throughout the implementation cycle to steer the organization to its new direction. Catchball is a term derived from the children's ball game, where instead of a goal, an idea or goal is tossed around from person to person. It is a vital element which requires constant communication to ensure the development of appropriate targets and means and to their deployment at all levels in the organization.